what to buy now and where to find the best prices, I'm breaking down all the best Labor Day deals.
The boo-boo craze. What's behind the billion-dollar toy of the summer? How to get your hands on one.
Plus, the 17-year-old taking the science world by storm. How she's putting a spin on stitches. And taking a leap with a new project.
Who says you need a fancy lab to be a scientist?
Reaching 800 kids and counting.
Hello and welcome to GMA Life. I'm Ashin Singh.
And I'm Laura Barbado, and right now we are backstage at GMA. Coming up on GMA Life, we are talking to the author of the GMA Book Club pick for September.
That's right, and plus Michael is introducing us to a young entrepreneur making a difference for kids as we spotlight Black Business Month. Lori, this story is so awesome.
I can't wait to see it. But first, our series, 50 States in 50 Weeks, America the Beautiful. This week, we are in New Hampshire. Check it out.
17 football fields, back to back. 628 cars, bumper to bumper. That's the height we're talking about at Mount Washington. It's the highest peak in the entire Northeast, and one of the things that makes New Hampshire, New Hampshire.
Visitors and residents can enjoy hiking or biking and can even drive up to the top on the Mount Washington Auto Road.
Our customers can travel all around the world to experience a 7-hour cruise round-trip journey in one of our mountain wagons.
One of the mountain wagons are out. The Cobb Railway is still in.
It's been around since 1869. It's survived for 156 years, and it still captivates visitors that come out here.
And when it comes to places to stay, we're stepping into history. The Omni Mount Washington, a landmark establishment built in 1902, and the original Glen House just down the road that traces its legacy back to the 1850s. Also found here, one-of-a-kind butterflies, the White Mountain Arctic and White Mountain Fritillary, point of pride for the people here.
These two butterflies are our responsibility in New Hampshire. They don't live anywhere else. They are specific species, and I love that we have the opportunity to appreciate them and take care of them.
And taking care of the people, that's where New Hampshire Fish and Game comes in. Their team takes on average 180 listeners.
We've had rescues last from anywhere from a few hours up to potentially 12 hours at a time. There are portions where you're more than 10 miles from the nearest road, so if you had to carry someone those 10 miles, you not only have to hike in the first 10 miles to get to them, but you then have to carry them back out. Fishing, snowboarding, hiking, so they appreciate it. It shows them that as well.
We're going out by two great rescuers and their catering partners, Officer Dave Liberty and Tara Officer. They're here with the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department.
Yeah, it's truly one of the most rewarding parts of the job. We spend a lot of time and effort with these dogs during the situations, so it's
You've got your catering partners here. You've got Roxy, you've got Cora. They really help you do this incredible work. What are some of those special skills that they bring to these missions?
Yes, certainly. So in some capacity, our rescue missions, we have known places we need to go to carry somebody out or bring somebody to safety. Then come those times where we have so many unknowns, that's really where we should, utilize our canines to use the to locate a potential missing person.
Yeah, and oh, hey there. And the weather can be really unpredictable up here. We were just talking about that, how it just changes as you're climbing through these three different climate zones, trying to make it up here, up the mountains. So talk to us a little bit about how challenging that could be.
Oh, absolutely, and no doubt I've been here in this, not far from where we are in some of the most horrific conditions, and then we're so fortunate to be here in these conditions here today.
Now to the Book Club pick for September. journey through time and one girl's quest to stop history from being rewritten.
The Book of Lost Hours is about a young girl named Lisabeth Levy, who is 11 years old when she is trapped in a place called the time space. And she comes to realize that there are people known as timekeepers who are entering the time space in order to burn some of the books and change the course of history. And she sets out to try and stop them from doing that.
At the heart of the novel is a love story, whether or not it can stand the test of time. Your book is part historical fiction, part fantasy, part time travel, part CA thriller, part romance, part multi-generational family drama. There's a little bit of everything. What genre is this book for you?
I tend to call it speculative historical. To me, that's the thing that resonates the most, is the historical aspect as well as the fantasy, sci-fi leaning parts of the book.
With a master's degree in biology and the scientist's mind helped propel her creative spirit.
This was a really, really fun way for me to be able to use both sides of my brain and use that scientific background that I have, grown and built in a way that ultimately ended up being for a creative endeavor.
Something I appreciated is that all of the fantasy you rooted in science, this idea of the time space. And at first it sounds ridiculous, but as you read the book, you're like, this could happen. This could be real. Oh my gosh, I could live in the time space.
I was thinking of it as something that's outside of the world that we currently know, but also still impacts the world that we live in.
What do you hope readers take away from reading this book?
I hope that they take away a little bit
fantastic deal. It starts around $429.99, and now it's on sale for almost 50% at around $230. Amazon also has some great deals on personal electronics, like these JBL tubas, which have that signature pure bass sound, noise canceling, up to 48 hours of battery life, and are 40% off with the original price at just under $100 and the sale price at $59.95. And finally, it's always a good time to buy jewelry, especially at these prices from Zales. They're offering up to 40% off pretty much everything, like this gold jewelry, which starts at $429 for original price, but it's on sale for $257, 35% off most fashion jewelry, and 30% off of bridal favorites. Now let's head over to Ashin, who's taking a deep dive into the Labubu craze.
No, these lines, they're not for Beyonce. They're for Labubu goers. The hottest new toy is taking over the world.
Desperate for green rainbow by June.
Blowing up everywhere online.
It's still really cute.
This is freaking adorable.
Celebrities showing theirs off on social media. From Bethany Frankel
I went from thinking this is the most stupid thing that I've ever seen to thinking it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen.
to actress Emma Roberts. The GOAT, Tom Brady and his daughter, and Brad Pitt, while promoting his new movie, F1. Lizzo posting a remix, shouting out her Labubu.
What can I say? Take off the foo-foo. How you talking about me? Can't even outdress my Labubu.
Sarah Jessica Parker, learning about them on the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Are these like dolls? They look like Cupid dolls.
And Cher, spotted with one hanging off her purse at the Tribeca Film Festival and nabbing the spotlight at the NBA playoffs on TNT.
Putting a damn bunny on your skin.
With all the hype for these toothy plush accessories, are you ready for Labubu summer? It's actually insane. People would do anything for Labubus, kids and adults alike. I've gone loco for Labubus. Manufactured in China, now $1 billion plus industry worldwide.
You only have a very small window to get it. And if you don't, then the only way to get it is through a collector that's going to give you 2, 3, 4 times the price.
Superfans telling us they spent big bucks to grow incredible collections, or to get the rarest ones. This whole thing is a bit of a gamble, right?
That's the rush of it. That's why people love it so much, because it's a nice rush of dopamine, like you don't know you're going to get anything.
Why have these little dolls locked in the recession?
You were saying that if you were walking around in the streets of LA with one of these right now.
Yes, I see people get jumped, car broken into.
How long until the Labubu bubble bursts? How can you get your hands on the Labubu doll of your dreams?
She's my ride or die, you know, she's always with me.
Kevin Yu is a 23-year-old vlogger. He posts viral toy videos on YouTube, including his Labubu collection. The dolls retailing for about $30 each.
It's an investment for sure, just like walking around, like, of course it looks like a Birkin or something.
No way. So how much would this resell?
Right now, I would say it's around like 200, 300. This one right here.
Over the past 6 months, Kevin says he spent more than $1,000 growing his Labubu doll collection. You bought your first one in January.
In January, yeah.
Now, how many own now?
I think I own like maybe 20. And my boyfriend owns like probably like 25, 32, yeah.
So in 6 months between the two of you, guys have collected between 40 and 45 Labubus.
Yeah. For them, I didn't realize how many Labubus they have, but this is all the plushies we have. I know, this is crazy. We got one movie stop, we got it online, got it in person.
The dolls often sold in blind boxes. You don't know which Labubu you'll get, driving fans to buy more in hopes of unboxing a rare one.
Oh, yes. God. Finally. The last one. Dada. Welcome home. My daughter.
And Colin Profits for Pop-Up, the company that sells them, tells us the recent Labubu drops have sold out within minutes, both online and in store.
And then you have a lot of people on TikTok and stuff that do a blind box opening events. It's kind of like Pokemon where you get your card, you're not sure what you're going to get. These kind of blind box motions help inspire people to keep wanting to collect.
Once these little replicas are out of the box, some are selling for hundreds, even thousands on the secondary market, like this one on eBay. We've seen price tags ranging from $20 to almost almost 3 figures. Is this a toy for everybody?
It depends on how much are you inspired to grab and collect.
A 4-foot-tall, Labubu-inspired dog drove a fierce bidding war earlier this month in Beijing, fetching more than $170,000. The fuzzy phenomenon sparking this fashion show in New York City. Some getting their Labubus tattooed. But when hunting for your own Labubu, be warned. There are also fake ones being sold. People aptly naming them Labubus.
This is not bad for being fun, actually.
Fake or knockoff products, they diminish the quality of the actual product. They also offer kind of like a lie to the consumers, especially if you're trying to, you tell someone who's not familiar and they get confused of which one's the real one or not.
People are collecting them for many reasons.
Look at this.
For Kevin, it's fashion.
I have the Labubus of the color of the rainbow in neutral colors too, so I feel like I can match my Labubus with any outfit I want. It's a nice little pop of like little cuteness, little like nice conversation starter, so I love doing that with my Labubus.
But he also says it can be just a comforting toy that reminds him of simpler times from his childhood.
I had a really good childhood where toys was like a big part of my life. I always played toys and games, and it made me so happy and I was so carefree.
Growing up, we connect to the world through toys, and then you grow up, and then you the nostalgia connection to it.
The rush for Labubus. Harking back to the mad dash for Beanie Babies in the late 1990s. And don't forget their no-busting trends. Like typical yellow, Tamagotchi, Furby, and Cabbage Patch Kids.
About 2 million will find their way to American homes this Christmas, but that will hardly satisfy the demand.
This one's kind of unique in a lot of ways. It's different than when like Tamagotchi first came out or the Beanie Babies first came out. Labubu, I think because of that social media aspect, and you have your stars also kind of showcasing their love for the blind, that really helps push it a little further than what you would expect some other ones.
How did you notice that the community around Labubus was different? I was like, okay, I need to start making videos around these plushies.
So everyone was lining up, everyone was like trying to find ways to get it. It was a big shift from, oh, this is trendy to, no, this is really trendy. This is like crazy. Seeing how many people waited in line is actually insane. I waited in the LA location and it was wrapping around the whole mall.
Kevin, this is the whole collection right here.
Yes.
Kevin, this, according to Kevin, this one is my vibe. This one right here. Kevin says some stress and disappointment comes in turn when trying to buy a Labubu.
They always do like a notification that they're gonna release this Labubu at this time. So at 7 p.m. PST, they drop the stock for it and they get to as quick as possible to try to get the Labubu on their website. Their website is a lot crashing.
It's like getting Taylor Swift to
Even worse than that, honestly, because like, there's so many different people like getting them.
What demand on the ride? The Labubus are here to stay.
Pop art is now pushing like more than 50 stores in the United States. The adults seem like they're slowing down.
Having this carefree and like forgetting about life for a little bit, this is super nice because like being an adult is very stressful and very overwhelming at times, but having this little part of my life where I can just like sit down, open a blind box, or like look at my toys and like be happy about it, super nice and like really good to like not overthink about life.
And when GMA Life returns, we'll meet the young entrepreneur behind the nerd step box as we spotlight Black business moments.
Do you know you can customize your safety preferences in the Uber app? To do so, go to your account tab anytime or tap the blue safety shield while on a trip. Taking control of your ride is quick, easy, and all in one place. That's safety simplified. Uber.
Take advantage of the $7,500 Nissan sale on select Solterra V models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
L big boxes. More food, more flavor. Only at Del Taco.
Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.
mystery,
shocking,
sex, betrayal, lies, bombshell, the greatest true crime stories.
2020, Friday nights at 9. You're watching America's #1 streaming news. Live reporting, breaking, exclusives. Keep streaming with Venice Live.
Welcome back to GMA Life, and August is Black Business Month. Today, Michael's introducing you to a scientist turned entrepreneur.
I love this series. Take a look at how she's making sure all kids have access to STEM at home.
Deja Taylor is a scientist, inventor, and STEM advocate.
My love for science didn't really catapult until high school, but I was always really interested in the intricacies of creating things and making things and discovering new things through that experience.
At just 17 years old, Deja began researching for a project that would take the science community by storm.
This research will revolutionize the way that we treat wounds in developing countries.
Using the properties extracted from beets, the high school junior created surgical sutures, also known as stitches, that change colors after detecting an infection.
I started winning science fairs and taking that to one of the most prestigious science competitions for high schoolers, and ended up placing very high in that competition as well. And that project rooted from wanting to bridge equity in science.
The success and notoriety from that invention allowed Deja to take a leap into her next endeavor, entrepreneurship.
They gave me a platform to reach kids and show them what a scientist and an inventor could look like, and so that's how Nerd STEM Box was birthed.
Nerd STEM Box is a children's home lab kit packed with hands-on science activities and experiments.
Who says you need a fancy lab to be a scientist? It's been so much fun watching kids interact with all of the activities, but you watch them progress and watch their eyes get wide when they're doing the experiment themselves. And then by the end of the program, they want to know more, they want to do more.
While still being a full-time college student, Deja traveled across the country to demo the Nerd STEM Box in classrooms, sometimes assisted by students like Lawrence Jones.
Working with her has been amazing. She's been really nice to me. She's helped teach me new things because I didn't know anything about science at first.
Nerd STEM Box has reached more than 800 kids and counting since it was first launched 1 year ago.
I never imagined myself being an entrepreneur this early, if I'm being quite honest. Through Nerd STEM Box, I want to get a message to kids everywhere that your ideas matter and you belong in this space.
I'm here now with Deja Taylor, along with Xavier and Matthias, and we're here to demo our experiment. Give it up for these three. What you're doing is amazing. What you created is really something. So walk us through this experiment. So what do we have here?
So first and foremost, we have our activity called Liquid Words, and it's from our Nerd STEM Box, our Food Science Edition. And in this bowl, we have sodium alginate and water, which sodium alginate is a thickening powder that's created from seaweed. Alright, so then in the big bowl, we have water and calcium chloride, which is a salt. So we mix this one off camera and let this one sit for that.
Okay, here you go.
world. So I am trying to step in and do my part with her.
I was looking for you. I got hung up on you.
Yes.
Yeah, still hot. And I love the fact Nerd Stem Box said, be a nerd. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Have some fun at the same time. You two have a good time?
Yeah.
Take those to school for your friends.
Gonna hold it.
All right, everybody. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, 3.
That is all for GMA Life.
Up next, all the top stories and latest news right here on ABC News Live, where the news never stops.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.
Want to make sure you're getting in the right ride every time? Turn on PIN verification in the Uber app. Your ride will only begin when your driver enters your unique 4-digit passcode. That's safety simplified. Uber. Take advantage of the $7,500 lease and save on select Solterra D models during the Super Bowl on 11.
And those little Chevys are badass.
What's going on, bud?
I don't know what. How about yourself?
Good, man.
Nice car.
Thanks, bud.
Is that your car?
It is.
Beautiful, man.
All right, bud, have a good one.
You too, man.
I'm Perry Russom. Here are some top headlines we're watching at ABC News Live at this hour. The Labor Day weekend travel rush is well underway, with millions of people taking to the roads and skies. The FAA says they expect this to be the busiest Labor Day in decades. Hitting the highway early or hopping on a red-eye might be your best bet. It's looking like a busy week ahead on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers return on Tuesday. We have the ongoing push to release the complete, unredacted Epstein files. Several abuse survivors are set to take part in a press conference with lawmakers Wednesday. Then Health Secretary RFK Jr. is set to testify Thursday before the Senate a deadline to pass a spending bill by October 1st. Attacks in Gaza intensifying as Israeli forces prepare to occupy Gaza City. Officials say at least 7 people were killed in an Israeli strike in western Gaza City overnight. This comes as the Gaza Ministry of Health reports an outbreak of a new flu strain among children in the Gaza Strip. They're already dealing with famine and war, and now this on top of it. The Ministry reports the virus is spreading rapidly, with thousands of cases already reported, and it's expected to rise. I'm Perry Russell. Thanks for staying with us. The news never stops. You can find us anywhere you stream live news. If you're on the go, check out the ABC app, abcnews.com as well, and tune into This Week for Martha Raddatz's exclusive interview with Maryland Governor Wes Moore on the Trump administration's push to send National Guard troops to more cities. She also speaks with a doctor who resigned from the CDC this week, and with Dr. Richard Besser, former acting director of the CDC during the Obama administration.
Turmoil at the CDC as Secretary Kennedy pushes to overhaul the nation's vaccine policies. This week starts right now. The White House fires the CDC director after just weeks on the job. Top leaders resign in protest amid a fierce clash over vaccines. We need our leaders above us to believe in CDC and stop saying question experts. This morning, we'll speak with the former CDC vaccine chief after he walked off the job, and former acting CDC director, Dr. Richard Besser, on how vaccine policy changes will impact the health and safety of all Americans. Crime flag.
I'm not walking in Baltimore right now. Baltimore is a hellhole.
President Trump expands his potential targets for troop deployments to clean up American cities.
I have no interest in fighting with the president, but I have an interest in fighting for my communities.
We travel to Baltimore to speak with Maryland Governor Wes Moore about how blue states are pushing back. And terror in Minneapolis. After 2 children are killed and 18 others are wounded during morning mass at a Catholic school, local leaders call for action.
Don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying.
GOP House Majority Whip Tom Emmer of Minnesota responds. Plus analysis with our Powerhouse Roundtable.
From ABC News, it's This Week. Here now, Martha Raddatz.
Good morning and welcome to This Week. On this Sunday morning, members of the Annunciation Church in Minneapolis gather for their first Sunday morning mass after the tragic shooting targeting school children there this week, killing 2 and injuring 18 others. We will look at where the investigation stands and get an update on the injured later in the broadcast. But we begin this morning with the shakeup at the Centers for Disease Control and what it could mean for public health. Donald Trump has fired lawyers, generals, and diplomats, all causing major upheaval. But what happened this week with the firing of the head of the CDC could have a profound impact on the health of all Americans. After President Trump's successful launch of the COVID vaccine in 2020 with Operation Warp Speed, his new HHS Secretary, Robert Kennedy Jr., seems to be taking a very different view of vaccines and removing public health experts who stand in the way. These are the top CDC officials who were either fired or resigned in protest this week, including now former CDC Director Susan Manaras, who was forced out less than a month on the job. I'll speak with one of the top vaccine experts who resigned in a moment, but first, ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has the latest on the story of healthcare advocates across the nation.
This week, chaos at the nation's top public health agency. A stunning firing of mass exodus of top leaders.
When our scientific leader wasn't going to be leading the agency, we couldn't be at this agency anymore.
Let's get the politics out of public health.
We are going to be your loudest advocates.
Center HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a longtime vaccine skeptic, overhauling our nation's health policies.
Well, there's a lot of trouble in CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture.
The dramatic departures following a clash between Kennedy and CDC Director Susan Manaras, forced out just a month after her swearing in.
Susan is an expert in public health.
But Kennedy turning on her when she refused his orders to fire top officials and back his overhaul of vaccine policy. Initially, Manaras' lawyer said she never resigned, never got formal notice from the president, and was ousted because she refused to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives and fire dedicated health experts. The White House firing back.
That she was not aligned with the president's mission to make America healthy again. So the president fired her, which he has every right to do.
Kennedy has named his deputy HHS Secretary Jim O'Neill the interim CDC director, who has said he supports vaccines but not mandates.
I'm very much in favor of vaccines. I think vaccines are one of the greatest public health interventions in human history. They've saved millions of lives. They will continue to save millions of lives.
The CDC reeling amid growing confusion over how and where Americans will get the new COVID vaccine. The FDA approved this fall's version only for people over 65 or high-risk children and adults. The White House insists the vaccine will still be available for all Americans to consult with their doctors, but sidestep the rest on whether insurance will continue to cover it.
The FDA's decision does not affect the availability of COVID vaccines for Americans who want them.
Meanwhile, insurance providers are waiting for guidance from the CDC's advisory panel, which does meet for several more weeks. And that panel has been completely reshaped by Kennedy, who recently replaced that panel with his own handpicked members, many who share his own vaccine skeptic views. Martha?
Selena Wayne, thank you. I'm joined now by Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis, who stepped down this week from his position leading the CDC's National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. Thank you for joining us this morning, Doctor. You have been at the CDC for 5 years, about 7 months under Secretary Kennedy. In your resignation letter, you said that the CDC is generating policies that do not reflect scientific reality and are designed to hurt rather than improve the public's health. What are you talking about specifically?
I'm going to say, well, first, thank you for having me on, Martha, and I'll say that we're seeing the tip of the iceberg. So right now, I think probably the most prominent demonstration of that is what Secretary Kennedy did with changing the childhood schedule for COVID-19. In that, we were directed that only children with underlying conditions would be the ones that should qualify for vaccination. That's not what the data shows. 6-month-old to 2-year-old, their underlying condition is huge. 53% of those children hospitalized last season had no underlying conditions. The data say that in that age range, you should be vaccinating your child. I understand that not everybody does it, but they have limited access by narrowing that recommendation. Insurance may not cover it.
And you say designed to hurt. The policies are designed to hurt the public's health. Are you saying they are deliberately, purposely, knowingly hurting public health?
I mean, from my vantage point as a doctor who's taken the Hippocratic Oath, I only see harm coming. I may be wrong, but based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard with the new members of the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices, or ACIP, they're really moving in an ideologic direction where they want to see the undoing of vaccination. They do want to see the undoing of mRNA vaccination. They have a very specific target on COVID, but I do fear that they have other things that they are going to be working on.